What's up, everybody? Stevekaneki is back in front of the camera to bring you guys another review of Dark Phoenix. I know it's been a long time. Real quick though, before I break the movie down, full-on spoilers, I want to apologize for being so absent and kind of pushing my YouTube dream to the side. But just hear me out, right? The more and more I thought about doing my Avengers Endgame spoiler in-depth review, I got exhausted thinking about it. You know, it was just the fact that I've seen the movie 3 or 4 times, and I'm just tired of talking about the movie. Sure, I've had conversations about the movie after and prior to my review and the movie coming out. It's just, the movie's 3 hours, and I'm just like, dude, everybody's pretty much just saying the same thing as me. You know, I Love You 3000, the snap by Tony, Thanos disappearing, you know, Cap lifting the hammer, you know, using lightning, becoming a demigod somehow, Doctor Strange only being able to fight the ocean, Captain Marvel, you know, in the whole A-Force teaser, the no post-credit scene, you know, and then Steve coming back as an old man. See, like, there you go, you know, everybody's pretty much talked about all that stuff, and I was just like, I don't want to make a video about this. Like, I'm already exhausted as it is, so I just want to apologize for that, you know, sorry for being so absent, sorry for never dropping part 2, but I hope you guys like this review of Dark Phoenix. I saw it last week on Thursday, the day it came out, I believe, something like that, and I absolutely hated it. So we're going to go ahead and break the movie down, full-on spoilers. I hope you guys like the review. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn post notifications on because I am back. I'm full on doing reviews. I got Brightburn, Aladdin, and Maw, and Rocket Man to break down for you guys. So please, any kind of support is greatly appreciated. I'm Stevekaneki, and let's go ahead and break this movie down. Alright guys, I'm going to try to make this review as fun as possible. I'm going to try to be as genuinely honest as I can. Going into this movie, I knew I was going to hate it. I knew I was going to take this movie being absolutely terrible very personally because I love the X-Men more than I do the Avengers. It's just something about the X-Men that's just more cooler than me in the comics and the cartoons than the Avengers. I don't know why, but I remember, you know, watching the X-Men animated series as a kid. That's what my father started me out on. And it was way more cooler to watch than half of the Avengers cartoons we get nowadays. You know, we have the MCU. It's just, I can go back and watch the animated series and be like, man, dude, nostalgia at its finest, you know? And you take one of the most famous storylines besides Days of Future Past, besides House of M, you know, besides the Strife and Age of Apocalypse, you take Dark Phoenix, you make it a footnote, and you just push this intergalactic alien plot point into the movie, and you decide to throw some famous actors in there like Jessica Chastain, which this was the easiest paycheck she's ever gotten. Dark Phoenix is mainly about her people coming from space, trying to take the Phoenix Force from Jean because she gets it in a space accident when they're trying to rescue some astronauts, because Charles Xavier is just like, hey, go into space because we're cool with humans now because we saved them from Apocalypse in the last movie, so you guys got to do what I say because you're the X-Men. And they're like, okay. So they go to space and and they rescue the astronauts, right? And the movie does an okay job of displaying their powers, but what's so laughable at it is just the fact that it's just so over the top. Like, I was laughing so hard at the dialogue in this movie, I was drooling like a rabid dog. Like, I kept wiping my mouth because I was just like, this is stupid. And like I said, the movie just moves so fast, you know? I don't know what they were thinking after Disney bought them out, but here's my theory, guys. I bet Disney went on the set of this movie and was like, hey, this movie's gonna be terrible. We just bought you guys for, you know, everything you're worth and more, and now you belong to us, so we're gonna make you rewrite your movie, reshoot your movie, and it's not gonna be as good as Endgame, of course. We're gonna make you kill off Jean Grey because we don't want her to oppose Captain Marvel in her solo movies or when y'all join together in the A-Force or whatever. So we're your boss now, so do what we say. And you actually feel the tonality shift in the movie of Dark Phoenix. It's like I said, Marvel and Disney came in their house, started unplugging everything, and said, you know what, this isn't gonna work. I guess I'll go into what I hated about the characters in this movie besides Jean. Ty Sheridan's Cyclops, he has one line in this movie where I was just like, nah, bro. Like, you're not about that action. Because the way he said it, I was just like, what? Moving on from that, you have Magneto. And I love Michael Fassbender's Magneto, you know? It's just, his powers are inconsistent. 2 movies ago, I could have swore he lifted an entire baseball stadium without touching it. And then in X-Men Apocalypse, he just now discovered that there's metal in the ground. So, you know, Apocalypse, he puts his hand on the ground, he's like, move the earth. And I was just like, bro, like, you should know this already. You're Magneto, you're the master of magnetism. Why are you letting another man tell you, or whatever Apocalypse is supposed to be, a god, tell you your powers, bro? Like, you've been doing this isn't your first rodeo, brother. Like, I didn't get it. I was just like, all right, whatever. It's stupid. Charles Xavier's powers are literally reduced down to the point where I'm like, are you a telepath or an alcoholic, bro? In every single scene, he's drinking. Guys, like, I'm not making this up. Like, if I am exaggerating, I apologize, but that's all I can remember that he did in this movie. He had a bottle of liquor next to him in every single scene. He's pouring a glass, or he has a bottle in his hand, and he's just like, don't worry about me. I'm like, bro, this is not the Charles Xavier that we've grown to love or know from the comics or cartoons. The Charles Xavier I'm used to is a, you know, practical, mindful, very inspiring individual that knows how to handle situations without letting his emotions get the best of him.
Wait, don't break our psychic link. What are you hiding from me, Sabretooth? Why do you keep these thoughts from me? Can they be so painful? Don't resist me. I will know it all in time. Such hurt. Such rage. No wonder Magneto believes there is no hope of peace. But we must never give up trying.
In First Class and Days of Future Past, you know, you get this young Charles Xavier with his hair and everything, played by James McAvoy, the same guy who's been playing him, you know, besides Patrick Stewart. You would think that Patrick Stewart's character would rub off on the Dark Phoenix version of Charles Xavier because he's so old. You know, we've seen this storyline before, but now they've completely changed it and tried to make it more compelling that he's drinking to get over his depression. Bro, that's not how you handle a problem. Like, you need to man up and decide, like, hey, man, I'm going to do something about this instead of pour another shot and just say, oh, go deal with it. That's what I felt that he did the entire movie. You know, he didn't do anything for me or any of the X-Men. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. One of the biggest discrepancies that I had with Dark Phoenix is how the writer of X-Men Apocalypse is the director to Dark Phoenix. I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember doing some research and looking it up, and I was just like, bro, like, brother, did you not watch your last movie that you wrote the plot to? Because Jean Grey used the Phoenix Force to kill Apocalypse, and she saved the day. So how come her powers didn't manifest enough to transpire the dark, evil, malevolent cloud or whatever she gets sucked up in Dark Phoenix out of her? Like, why wasn't she protected? It didn't make sense to me. I was like, okay, you have this evil bad guy who did one thing in one movie, and then you have the cloud that does the other thing in the other movie, but they're the same thing. So it didn't make sense, guys. I was just like, okay. And the aliens, you know, it's like they decided to, okay, we're gonna have these aliens, you know, be aliens, right? But they're not gonna wear prosthetics. We're just gonna have actors look like people. So they'll be like us, but we won't have to spend the budget, but they'll have the typical, oh, pathetic humans. You don't know anything. We're gonna take your planet. And as I explained how Jean's Phoenix Force was gonna save their world or whatever, I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you could just take the power from her and go back home. Like, why do you need to kill all these people? You guys weren't a threat until the cloud was near the space station. So why are you bothering us? We haven't done anything. And I don't know, man. The hardest thing Jessica Chastain had to do in this movie is walk around in 6-inch heels. That's what every scene she's in. Like, they pan the camera backwards and she's walking in heels in slow motion. And I was just like, bro, like, why are you wearing heels in every single scene? And why do they keep emphasizing that? Like, I get it, you know, I'm over it. I don't care. Okay, I'm gonna try to bring this to a close. Because I'm getting more and more angry as I think about this movie. Mystique dies. You find out that Jean was given away by her father because when she caused the car wreck as a little girl, her dad was like, I can't take care of her. She's dead to me because she killed my wife and her mother or something. And Charles is like, okay, well, I'll take her. Charles decides to block off that part of her life in her mind or something, so she doesn't lose control when her powers are getting too, I guess, aggravated or provoked. But the Phoenix Force is the reason why that part of her mind is being opened, I guess, which is kind of cool. He uses Cerebro to like try to communicate with her as a further telepath, and it was all right. Going back to what I said when Mystique dies, so they have the same exact scene from X-Men: The Last Stand when Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier dies and Magneto is there in the house where Jean grew up as a kid, but this time Raven dies instead of Charles Xavier. So in my mind, that was Jennifer Lawrence's like cue to walk off the set. You know, it's like it was obvious that she was just done with the movie. She's been done with this franchise for years. Like, she didn't want to do it anymore. So I was like, okay, cool. So this is how we're getting rid of this franchise. We're gonna kill the characters off. That's smart. Whatever. They have this same, you know, build up to mutants that you don't know who they are because their powers are weird. Magneto has the same story of coming out of hiding again because he's harboring mutants on some sacred land or something like that. Keeping them away from the governments of the earth because, you know, humans still don't like mutants to a certain extent, or people don't like him because what he did 2 movies ago or what he did in Apocalypse. So he's saving these mutants, right? So Magneto's not really a threat in this movie to, I guess, humans. And Jean finds him, tries to get him to answer some questions about how do you deal with, you know, not hurting people or something. And I was just like, bro, this isn't your character. You're only feeling this way because you killed Raven, you know? Whatever. And it's the same scene. Like, I was just like, bro, we've seen this before. Even in the final battle, like, you see mutants and you don't know what their powers are. Guys, I'm not making this up when I say this. There's a guy in this movie, his powers are literally in his cornrows. Like, he had dreads or braids or something, and he was fighting with his hair. They had another telepath that has like this telekinetic battle with Charles trying to control the mind of Nightcrawler. Storm actually has an accent, you know, that she's like one of the coolest characters in the movie. Quicksilver has more than a quick montage to an 80s rock song of him just moving really fast. He does more in this movie, but he gets taken out, you know, because Jean throws him to the side and really, really hurts him really bad in the middle of the movie. So he's out of the movie till the end, you know. I mean, like I said, I remember certain parts of the movie only because I did pay attention, but I was bored with it. I was just like, can we please move on? Can we just get this over with? Like I said, Jean dies, you know, she uses the power of the Phoenix Force to self-destruct and blow herself up to kill Jessica Chastain's aliens and her friends. I hope I entertain you guys with this review. I just didn't like the movie. If you want to go check it out, go ahead. It's up to you. Like, you know, if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. I am Stevekaneki. I'll be doing a review of Brightburn, Aladdin, Ma, and Rocket Man soon. I got some other movies coming out that I'm going to be checking out. Spider-Man Far From Home is next month. I can't wait to see you guys again. Please share this video. I apologize for me sounding like I was ranting the entire time, but I felt that was the best way to do this review because the movie, it sucked. Like, there was nothing cool about it. The music was terrible. You know, the tonality shifts was awful. Like, that's it. So, it's been a great time, guys, with you being back in front of the camera. Catch you next time. Stay blessed.